Let's go!
Hey everybody, Coach Scott here today, and today I want to talk to you about the seesaw effect. That's right, the seesaw effect. You see in the Bible, the story of Joseph, he saw his vision and his dream as a child. In fact, he saw his end from his beginning. And he believed in his vision. He believed in his dream so much, he began to talk about his dreams. And I've heard it said before that if you're not talking about your dream and you're not talking about the vision that God put in your heart, you really don't believe in it. And I heard a pastor one time say, you can always tell when a vision is from God because it'll start making you look foolish. So every vision, remember this is very important, every vision only has one believer in the beginning. So sometimes you got to convince yourself and then you got to start talking about it. So when you start talking about it, about your dreams and your vision to other people, I can tell you this, most people will not believe you at first. And this is how you can know that God planted that seed of destiny in your heart. But once you see it, I guarantee you that it will dominate your thoughts, it will penetrate your heart, and it will take over your life. And when Joseph told his dad and told his brothers that he saw himself on the throne one day, providing and taking care of the family, the whole family, and feeding them and sustaining them for the rest of their life, Joseph's brothers, they didn't really like that too much. And they had some division when they heard that dream from Joseph. And you know that Joseph was the youngest in the family. And his brothers really couldn't handle that dream. And they couldn't handle his vision. So they ripped his clothes off of him. They threw him in a pit. They sold him into slavery. And I can just imagine that Joseph, in that moment, when he was thrown in that pit, being surrounded by those walls of dirt, looking up in the sky and probably thinking to himself, God, this is not the vision that I saw. So here's the great news. Here's what was taught a long time ago, that if what you see is not what you saw, then what you see is only temporary. That's right. If what you see is not what you saw, then what you're seeing is only temporary. And the Bible says the vision is for an appointed time. And that means there is a specific time already determined for the fulfillment of the desires that God has placed in your heart. And the appointed time is always God's timing. So if you're stuck in a rut right now, if you're stuck in a dead-end job right now, and it's not what you saw, then have confidence and faith that it's only temporary. If you're in a broken relationship right now, and it's not what you saw, then healing and restoration is coming, or another relationship is coming. If your finances are in distress and it's not what you saw, then your breakthrough is on the way. You see, we have to trust that God is working all things together for our good. And He knows the pit that we're in right now. And He knows what we need. He knows the people that we're going to need to help us get out of that pit. And He knows where that pit is taking us. You see, He knew that Joseph needed to be in the right pit at the right time, because that very pit would one day lead him to the palace. And sometimes the very thing that we think we can't live without, God knows in 3 or 5 or 10 years, it's probably not going to be good for us. So He may be closing the door right now so that a larger door can open in your future. So remember, God has the advantage of seeing the end from the beginning. So if what you saw is not what you see, then what you see is only temporary. So be patient, trust God, because man makes the plan in his heart, but it's God that orders the steps, and God knows what He's doing. So have confidence that He has an appointed time to bring what you saw and make it a reality for what you can see. So God bless you guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.